Shalom, shalom. First, we give all praise and glory to the Heavenly Father, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being the Son, who people unknowingly call him Jesus Christ. Lord willing, you're enduring, you praying, you fasting, you giving alms, you're doing everything you need to do to make your calling and election sure in these last days. I want to give peace and blessings to whomsoever watching this. I also want to give peace and blessing to whomsoever not watching this, but they believe on the Most High God, Yahweh. They believe on his son, Yahweh Shah, and they're keeping the commandments in truth and sincerity. Now, the topic of this video is going to be about multiple wives, and what's the difference between a wife and a concubine. We're going to go through various precepts. It's not going to be a long video. It's going to be quick through the Spirit, but Lord willing, it's edifying. Let's go to Romans chapter 15 and verse 4 real quick. This Romans chapter 15 and verse 4, and it reads, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." So everything in the Bible, from the Old Testament, including the Apocrypha, to the New Testament, was written for our learning. We can't forget how our forefathers moved in things of that nature. We can't forget how the nation of Israel was built through multiple wives, man. We can't forget how David had multiple wives. We can't forget about the history. We can't forget about all these diverse things. A brother wanted me to go into this video, but that's what we're going to do. I'm just getting two quick precepts before I hop in. Let's go to Romans 7 and verse 12. Because if it wasn't for the Bible, we wouldn't even know about this. We would think that it's wicked. You already got people nowadays in this Western society in America thinking that a man having multiple women in righteousness is wicked, when that's not the case. The Most High God's all for that. If anything, you got women now thinking that a woman can have multiple men and it's righteous. Didn't the Lord say, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil"? That's off, man. Right? Don't let the white man tell you can do whatever you want to do. I think the so-called white man in America forbids a man having multiple wives, man. But if you go to Saudi Arabia, they promote that. See, that's the thing about Ishmael. Ishmael's still keeping some of the commandments. Even though he's wicked and off, yet they still keeping some of these commandments, unlike Esau. I'm going to get this real quick. In Romans chapter 7 and verse 12, and it reads, "Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, just and good." So it says the law is holy. The commandment is holy, just and good. So when you read about multiple wives, you can't get an ick for it. You can't say it's wicked, because if you say that multiple wives is wicked, that means you're saying the law is wicked, because multiple wives is in the law. But that doesn't mean that you can just go and just do what you want to do. All right, let's get into it real quick. Let's prove that it's in the law. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20, 21 and verse 10 real quick. Okay, this is the book of Exodus chapter 21 and verse 10, and it reads, "If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish." So in this, again, if you're a newcomer to this truth, or you may already know about this, there's nothing wrong with a man having multiple wives. Now, there's certain prerequisites or stipulations that comes with it. If a man take another wife, he must do three things, and he can't let off those things. He must provide food. You must be a provider. You can't let that other wife be starving. If you barely taking care of your first rib, why would you go take another rib? That doesn't make any sense. Don't let lust take over your mind, man. Just because it's lawful doesn't mean it's expedient. We're going to get that precept. So again, you must provide food. Again, your rib shouldn't be going she's fasting for 7 days, not willfully. She's not willfully fasting for 7 days. It's just because you're not feeding her. Because you don't have a job. You're playing PS5, Black Ops 6 in your underwear. And it stinks in the room. You didn't take a shower, man. Because you've been in that room for 3 days and a half. And it says, if he took him another wife, it says her food, her raiment. So you got to make sure you're giving her clothes, dresses. She shouldn't be wearing one dress. Just one dress and that's it. On the Sabbath day, she got no dress on, man. She's walking around the house in her underwear, in the same underwear that she wore throughout the week. Right? It says, in her duty of marriage. And that duty of marriage goes into due benevolence, meaning you got to lay down with this woman. You shouldn't be causing her to starve and causing her to burn in her lust. things in that nature. You over here playing a game, and she come ask you, to lay down with her. You tell her to shut up. You're in a game right now. You with the boys. You tell her to close the door, and you'll deal with that tomorrow. Then guess what? You might cause her to sin, and things in that nature. If you have ears to hear. So these are the 3 things a man must do. So again, if you a man watching this, man, if you have a rib and you're not doing these 3 things consistently, don't think about getting another wife, because you're going to destroy their lives, man. Right? Let's get let me see. Let's go to Genesis real quick, 31 and verse 17. Because again, multiple wives is lawful. I don't care what anybody says. If someone says it's wicked, they're calling the laws wicked. People like to teach things for their own belly, just because it sounds good, just so they can get more people in their congregation. That's off, man. God forbid we take away the words of God to make people like us, man. This is Genesis 31 and verse 17. It reads, "Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels." So even Jacob had multiple wives, man. And when you read the prologue, Salakia, when you read the prayer of Manasseh, it says that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were perfect, were righteous in the eyes of the Most High God. So again, Jacob had four wives, and that's how the nation of Israel came about, man. You had you had Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, and Zilpah, if I'm not mistaken, man, as his wives, right? So that's how the nation of Israel came about, through multiple wives. So again, if you're saying multiple wives is wicked, that means you just calling the whole nation of Israel just off and wicked, man, because we came from multiple wives. All right, let's get another one of our forefathers, a righteous man, a mighty man, having multiple wives, right? Who has a heart after the Most High God. This is a 1 Samuel chapter 25, and we're going to start at verse 42, and it reads, "And Abigail hasted and arose and rode upon an ass with 5 damsels of hers that went after her. And she went after the messengers of David and became his wife." So that's one. So Abigail, when you read 1 Samuel chapter 25, it goes into how Nabal, Abigail was married to Nabal. Nabal, he acted like he didn't know David. David was about to send a hit out to go take him off the map. Then Abigail, she was a wise woman. Guess what? She was prudent. She came and pacified the anger of David. And guess what? David was he was okay with that. He was calmed down. Then boom, out of nowhere, the Most High God strike down Nabal through the spirit, because he was wicked and off. And then David, Abigail got together, and it is what it is. Now this 1 Samuel 25 and verse 43, it's a good chapter, you should read it. But it reads, and it says, "David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives." You see that? So David had multiple wives, man. And King David, he was a mighty king. He was a mighty warrior. It said he had a heart after the Most High God, man. That's what the Most High God said about him. David didn't say that out of his own mouth. The Most High God said that about him. So again, even David had multiple wives through the spirit. Let's get one more. All right, let's go to Jeremiah. And there's multiple, even in the New Testament. Y'all saying this in the Old Testament. Well, hold on. I'm going to get one more in the Old Testament, another one in the New Testament. How about that? Let's go to Jeremiah 31, verse 31. And it reads, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord." Now remember, in verse 31, it says to the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, making it two people, plural, multiple, right? It's not singular. And then it says he was a husband unto them. So it's even mentioning that the Most High God is likened to multiple wives, man, having multiple wives through the Spirit. And even when you read that in the New Testament in Matthew 25, he said he likened the kingdom to having multiple wives. This is Matthew 25 and verse 1. It reads, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom." So even Yahushua said the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a wedding, a bridegroom, which is who? Yahushua, and 10 virgins, which is who? Hey man, the 5 wise virgins and the 5 foolish virgins on the spiritual level. And that's multiple brides right there. That's multiple wives right there, man. So even the kingdom of heaven is likened unto that. So again, if you say it's wicked, then that means you're saying the kingdom of heaven is wicked. That means you're saying the law is wicked. That means you're saying the Most High God is wicked. That means you're saying Jacob is wicked. That means you're saying King David is wicked. And these are all people buried in you, right? So just because multiple wives is righteous, is lawful, it doesn't mean you have to do it. There's just certain things in the law that just isn't expedient. Like what? Like this, for example. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 23. This 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 23, and it reads, all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Right. Just because it's lawful doesn't mean expedient. Just because chicken is lawful doesn't mean you should have 20 buckets of KFC chicken sitting in your room. You eat it, it's all for yourself. You eating that grease dripping down your beard and things of that nature, man. You almost have a heart attack in your room. Right? That's on a Shabbat. That's not law. That's not expedient, man. Just because you can eat lamb doesn't mean you should be a glutton, man. Right? It's lawful, but it's not expedient to go overboard with it, man. Marriage is lawful, but it's not expedient for you to have multiple wives if you can't take care of your first rib. You and your rib just got done. You just got done putting your rib in a chokehold because, well, God knows what. Every day y'all get into a fight, except on the Sabbath, because it's a holy day, right? So if you're doing that, you have no job, or your job is not making ends meet. You barely providing for the house, you barely making it through. Please don't get another rib, because you're going to destroy her life, and that blood is going to be on your hands, man. Right? So again, just because you can have multiple wives doesn't mean it's expedient. Because again, you're also, if you're in the camp as well, man, that's going to be hard to take care of both of them. Because let's go to let's see what Paul counsels through Timothy real quick. Let's go to 1 Timothy 3 and verse 1. It reads, this is a true saying, if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desires a good work. Now, a bishop just means overseer. You're an overseer of the church. Yahushua, he was a bishop, a shepherd, an overseer of the church, a chief one. Peter, James, John, right? Specifically Peter, Paul. These all have offices of a bishop overseeing the church. Verse 2, a bishop then must be blameless. Now, these are going to the prerequisites of being a bishop. It's not, what's it called? These are not a commandment to everybody. It just, if you want to be a bishop, under Paul's authority and things in that nature, he's giving counsel to Timothy. This is a prerequisite of how a bishop must conduct himself. It says, a bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife. Now, I know some camps, they use this to say, see, you can only have one wife. But hold on, not everybody's a bishop. This again going to because a bishop has a lot on his plate, man. If you overseeing a whole camp, a whole church, man, a whole congregation, you're not gonna have time to, spend time with your wives, man, with your kids and things of that nature. So if you add multiple wives, 5 wives, brother, you're gonna have gray hair at the age of 25. It's gonna be too much. Why would it be too much? Because again, if you have, when you read 1 Corinthians 7, it goes into marriage. Let's see what Paul said about that, man. This 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 31, and it reads, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. So again, you can't abuse this world, right? I'm gonna keep going. So it reads 32. But I will have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. So if you're unmarried, that's what a righteous man is going to be thinking about. How can he please the Lord? He's going to be more fervent in going to camp. He's going to be more fervent in reading and praying and fasting. He's going to be more focused and occupied in the Most High God. But watch this, though. Let's keep going. Verse 33, 1 Corinthians 7, verse 33, it reads, But he that is married cares for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. So, and that happens, man. Again, don't get me wrong. Having a wife, multiple wives, isn't wrong. But think about it. If your rib is complaining, let's say every week on a specific day, how come we never come or go out? How come we never do this, that, and the third? And sometimes a man, he don't really care about going out. It's usually the woman, because, hey man, by the facts, a woman, she spends more than a man, right? So a woman, she want to go out, she may want to go to the park, to the movies, to a restaurant, she want to do this, that, and the third on vacation. So if you have multiple wives, man, guess what? That's more of a headache, man. That's more, you got to spend time with them and deal with them and their spirits. You got to heal them more and feed your spirit into them. You know, so again, that's just more that's more burdens upon a man if you have multiple wives. All right, so we just touched on that when I was edifying. Now let's deal with the wife and concubine. Again, it's gonna be a quick video. Now, a wife is again, both wives and concubines are both married to the same man, to one man. It's not just a wife. A concubine isn't just what's it called, a prostitute. You pull up the downtown next to the club, Magic City. You ask her to get in the car. She asks you how long or this, that, and the third. You pay her, you pop her, then you leave and go back home to your wife. That's not a concubine. A concubine is just a lesser wife. A concubine is more like a handmaid. A wife has power over the concubine, right? Some people in the world, they call it side piece, side chick. Then they got the main, you know what I'm saying, the main one, right? That's a worldly way of doing things, you know, saying things and things of that nature, right? Let me get a precept real quick in Sirach chapter 6. Bear with me. Get this other Bible going. I don't really use this Bible. Give me 1 second. Let's go to Sirach chapter 6. And we're going to start, bear with me. We're going to start at verse 6. Sirach chapter 6 and verse 6, it reads, "Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000." So you may say, why did I bring that precept out? It's because it says be at peace with many. So there's many people that you would be at peace with. And the reason why I want to bring it in this way, you may have multiple wives, but it also said have one counselor. So it says have one counselor of 1,000. So I wanted to use that and parallel that to say you may have multiple women, but you're going to have that one woman who you love the most. For example, with Jacob, he had multiple wives, but he put Rachel first. He loved him the most. That's even in the law. He said if a wife be hated and things of that nature, you still can't abstain from making her firstborn son the heir, you know, and stuff like that. So again, just because you have multiple wives, just because you have multiple wives doesn't mean you can't have a favorite. You know, you're gonna have a favorite. Let me get one more precept real quick. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 24. There, man. Now I want to get an example of what I'm saying as well about how the wife have power over the concubine. I just want to bring this out. This is Proverbs 18 verse 24. It reads, "A man that hath friends must shew himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother." Again, I want to use this and parallel this to our multiple wives situation. Again, you may have multiple wives, but there's that one wife who sticks closer than the other wives, who you just, you know, hit it off rip, you know, through the spirit, are more close, inside jokes, you know, things in that nature. Now, I want to get an example with Abraham and Sarah and Hagar to show you how that the wife has power, typically has power over the concubine, because the concubine, she's really just there for sexual relations. That's when you go into that word concubine, you know, Adam Online. Actually, matter of fact, I got my iPad right here. Bear with me. Let's look that up, actually. Let me go to the Safari. Bear with me. Okay, let's go to Adam Online. All right, Adam Online. We're going to go to the etymology. Bear with me. Okay. Let's type in concubine. Okay. Let me see. Bear with me. I'm going to read this verbatim. It says, a paramour, a woman who cohabits with the man without being married to him. Now that's right there is going off because we know sex is marriage, right? It reads, also in reference to Hebrew, Greek, Roman, and other civilizations where the position was recognized by law, a wife of inferior condition, a secondary wife. From Latin concubinus, one who lives unmarried with a married man or woman. But again, we know that a concubine, when they lay down with a man, you're married. You can read about that in Genesis 16. It says, usually in Rome, the concubine was of a lower social order. So she wasn't on the same rank as the wife. She was underneath the wife. She was under the wife's command. When a wife is preoccupied doing something, she want to give orders to the concubine to do something around the house. Let's say let's use an example. Let's say Abraham and Sarah goes out a night on the town in righteousness. Guess what? Sarah may tell the concubine, hey, clean up this, that, and the third, have it done by the time we get back. Or make sure the dinner is prepared by the time we get back. Right? That's how it goes. That's how it went back then. The wife knew her role, the concubine knew her role. And they didn't overstep that. Right? It says, but the institution, though below matrimonium, was less reproachful than adulterium or stuprum. The word itself is from concubera, to lie with, to lie together, to cohabit. From a simulated form of com, with, together, kabar, to lie down. Right? So they lie down together. That's what it means. To lie down together. That's all concubine means, to lie down together. So again, concubine just someone who has sexual relations with, and is really not too much to a concubine. She's just around to keep house and bear kids, and just really be a helpmate to the a maid servant to the wife. Salakia. Let me prove that though. Let's go to Psalms 123, I believe. We'll go to Psalms 123 and verse 1. This book of Psalms, chapter 123 and verse 1, it reads, unto thee lift I up mine eyes, O thou that dwellest in the heavens. Behold, as the eyes of servants look unto the hand of their masters, and as the eyes of a maiden unto the hand of her mistress. So our eyes wait upon the Lord our God until that he have mercy upon us. So a maiden looks unto the hand of her mistress. Who's the maiden? That was Hagar. Who was the mistress? Sarah. Sarah had power over Hagar, even though they both lay down with the same man, but they're not on the same level. This is Genesis 16 and verse 1. It reads, now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said to Abram, behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. So Sarai told Abram, hey, you can lay down with my maid, and I'll give you authority, no things of that nature, doing everything in order. Right? Verse 3. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. What does that mean? Meaning, who's the mistress? Sarah. Who's the maid? Hagar. Hagar despised Sarah because she's looking at Sarah like, dang, you can't bear no children. Let me prove that though. Let me type that in. Let's compare text, different translations. Bear with me. Let me type that in real quick. Okay, come on. Let's go right here. Okay. The Genesis 16 verse 4 reads, he slept with Hagar, and she conceived When she knew she was pregnant, she began to despise her mistress. And the reason why I bring this out, even right here in NOT, it says, so Abram had sexual relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. But when Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress, Sarai, with contempt. And the reason why I want to bring that out, because in Psalms 123 and verse 2, it says that the maid looked up unto the mistress. Who's the mistress right here? Sarah. Who's the maid? The concubine? Hagar. So Hagar was the lesser wife. That's why Abram, he was always hearkening to what Sarah had to say. He didn't really care. I don't want to say he didn't care, but he really didn't about Hagar. He sent her away. And it was with a bottle of water in a hot sun. And it was what it was, man. Right? So that was just to prove that the wife has authority over the lesser wife, the concubine. Right? I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna get two more. Let's go to 2 Samuel 15 real quick. Let's go to 2 Samuel 15. To show again, concubines, they just really keep house. They're extra hands around the house. Right? They do the things that the main wife might not want to do, or she might not have time to do it. This is 2 Samuel 15 and verse 14, and it reads, and David said unto all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, arise and let us flee, for we shall not else escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly and bring evil upon us and smite the city with the edge of the sword. And the king's servants said unto the king, behold, thy servants are ready to do whatsoever my lord the king shall appoint. So when you read 2 Samuel 15, it's going to how Absalom was ready to take the city by storm and to win the people's heart against David. Right? So this is King David on a run from Absalom. Verse 16, it reads, and the king went forth and all his household after him, and the king left 10 women which were concubines to keep the house. So hold on. He took his wives, but how come he didn't take the concubines? Because again, the concubines wasn't on the same level as the wives. David loved Abigail. You always read about Abigail and Ahinoam, the Jezreelites. You don't even know the names of his concubines. It doesn't really matter. They're just there for extra help. Or when David doesn't feel like going to Abigail or Ahinoam, he wants something. If you get what I'm saying, he wants something new. If you get what I'm saying, right? They're just really there just as a vessel, you know. So even the concubines. And remember, this is a dire situation. All hell is breaking loose. If David don't get out there, he might get killed. But he still loved the concubines. Again, why is that? Because they wasn't on the same level. But it said he took Abigail. He took them with him. He took his wives with him, but not the concubines. Right? So I'm going to read that one more time. It reads, verse 16, it reads, and the king went forth and all his household after him, and the king left 10 women which were concubines to keep the house. And it was what it was. I'm going to get one more and close out. Let's go to Song of Solomon. So again, a concubine is just a lesser wife. They're both, wives of a man, but one is just more of a servant, more of a handmaid, more of a help around the house, just a vessel. All right, let's go to Song of Solomon, chapter 6. A wife, she has more authority, she has more power, and she has more of a say towards her husband. It's not likely for a husband to hearken to a concubine, as you can see with Abram. When Sarai was saying something, he hearkened, he listened. But Hagar, his concubine, he's a lesser wife, he just sent her out with a bottle of water. Some Dasani water, man. This Song of Solomon, chapter 6, and verse 8, it reads, there are 3 score. Now, if you don't know, a score is a way to say 20. So 3 score is 60. So there are 60 queens, and 4 score is 80. So it says there are 3 score queens and 4 score 80 concubines, and virgins without number. So you have multiple women. But right there, watch this. Verse 9, my dove, my undefiled, is but one. She is the only one of her mother. She is the choice one of her that bear her. The daughters saw her and blessed her. Yeah, the queens and the concubines, and they praised her. You see that? So you have all these women in verse 8 But in verse 9, it says she's the choice one. Meaning she's the chief. She's the princess. Even when you read Esther, Esther was queen of all these women that Ahasuerus had. Ahasuerus had many women in the chamberlain and stuff like that. He had many concubines, but he had one queen. He had one, that's what they used the term. He had one queen, which was Esther. She the one who sat chief. She's the one who can talk to Ahasuerus face to face, man. And it was what it was. She had more privilege than the other women, right? So again, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'm gonna give a koholoyim Yahweh to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah. Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Shalom.